Good day, my friends. Today I want to talk to you about something that we all experience: falling. Life has a way of knocking us down when we least expect it. A setback in your career, a broken relationship, a dream that didn't come to pass. But I'm here to tell you, falling is not the end. It's a setup for a comeback. Falling is a part of life. No one goes through this journey without experiencing moments of failure, disappointment, or hardship. It's not a matter of if we fall, but when. The question isn't about avoiding difficulties. It's about how we respond when they come. Think about a child learning to walk. They take a few steps, stumble, and fall. But they don't stay down. They get back up and try again. They may fall dozens of times, but each time they grow stronger, more balanced, more confident. Before long, they're not just walking, they're running. Life works the same way. Many of the greatest success stories were written by people who first experienced failure. The business that crumbled, the relationship that ended, the dream that seemed out of reach. But what separates those who succeed from those who don't is the decision to rise again. Falling is not a sign of weakness. It's proof that you're in motion, that you're trying, that you're reaching for something greater. It's easy to get discouraged when we stumble. Thoughts of doubt creep in. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I wasn't meant to do this. Maybe I should just give up. But those are lies meant to keep you down. Just because you fell doesn't mean you're finished. Falling doesn't define you. What you do next does. Every fall carries a lesson. Maybe you needed to slow down, to adjust your approach, or to gain wisdom before stepping into your next season. Instead of seeing your fall as a failure, see it as a stepping stone. If you never fell, you'd never grow. If you never struggled, you'd never gain the strength to rise to new heights. Life's greatest victories often come after life's hardest falls. So don't be afraid of them. Embrace them. Learn from them. And most of all, get back up. Setbacks are setups for comebacks. What may look like the end is often just the beginning of something greater. When life throws obstacles in your path, it's not to defeat you, it's to develop you. Every setback is an opportunity in disguise, a chance to learn, to grow, and to rise stronger than before. Think about the stories of the greatest achievers in history. They didn't succeed without facing hardships. They were rejected, overlooked, and sometimes completely knocked down. But instead of staying there, they used their setbacks as fuel for their comeback. The business that failed became the foundation for a new, better one. The lost opportunity made way for something even greater. The disappointment prepared them for a bigger blessing. It's easy to feel discouraged when things don't go as planned. You might think, why is this happening to me? But what if it's not happening to you, it's happening for you? What if that setback is actually positioning you for something better? Sometimes doors close because you were meant to walk through a different one. Sometimes delays happen because you're being prepared for a greater destiny. A setback is not a stop sign, it's a redirection. It's a refining process. It's a season of growth preparing you for the breakthrough ahead. Just because you've been knocked down doesn't mean you're out. The story isn't over. What was meant to break you is actually building you. So don't let that setback shake your faith. Don't let it steal your confidence. Instead, shift your perspective. This is not your defeat, it's your setup. Your comeback is on the way, and when it happens, you'll look back and realize that every challenge, every hardship, and every delay was working in your favor all along. You may fail, but you are not a failure. There's a big difference between failing at something and being a failure. One is an event, the other is an identity. Too often we let our mistakes define us. We think, I messed up, so I must not be good enough. I didn't succeed, so maybe I never will. But that's not true. Just because you failed doesn't mean you are a failure. Failure is simply proof that you tried. It means you stepped out, took a risk, and put in effort. And that alone is something to be proud of. The only people who never fail are the ones who never try. Every great success story includes moments of failure. The athlete who lost more games than they won before becoming a champion. The entrepreneur whose first business crumbled before they built an empire. The writer whose book was rejected dozens of times before it became a bestseller. If they had believed failure defined them, they would have given up. But they understood a simple truth. Failure is not final unless you quit. Think of failure as a teacher. It's not there to shame you, it's there to shape you. It shows you what works, what doesn't, and how to improve. Every time you fall short, you gain wisdom, strength, and resilience. When you shift your mindset from failure is the end to failure is part of the process, you take away its power to defeat you. You are not your mistakes. You are not your past. You are not what didn't work out. You are capable, strong, and full of potential. The only way you truly fail is if you stop believing in yourself. So rise up, shake off the disappointment, and keep moving forward. You may have failed, but you are not a failure. Your best days are still ahead of you. Champions are not those who never fall, but those who rise every time they do. True greatness isn't found in never stumbling. It's found in the determination to get back up, no matter how many times life knocks you down. Every champion, every leader, every person who's achieved something significant has faced moments of struggle, doubt, and failure. The difference is they refuse to stay down. Think about the greatest athletes in the world. They don't win every game. They don't set records without experiencing losses. But what sets them apart is their mindset. When they fall, they don't let it define them. They learn from it, grow from it, and use it as fuel to push forward. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about having the resilience to keep going despite it. Life will test you. You'll face setbacks, disappointments, and obstacles that make you wonder if you should give up. But champions don't let their circumstances dictate their destiny. They know that every fall is an opportunity to rise stronger. Every setback is a lesson in perseverance. Every struggle is building something inside of them that comfort and ease never could. You don't have to be the strongest, the smartest, or the most talented to be a champion. You just have to be the one who refuses to stay down. So when life knocks you off your feet, don't let it be the end of your story. Rise again, push forward, keep believing, because true champions are not the ones who never fall. They are the ones who get up again and again until they reach their destiny. Your struggles are preparing you for something greater. The challenges you face, the obstacles in your path, the disappointments that seem unfair, they are not there to break you, but to build you. Every difficult season, every closed door, every unanswered prayer is shaping you for something beyond what you can see right now. It's easy to get discouraged when life doesn't go as planned. You might think, why is this happening to me? Why do I have to go through this? But what if your struggle is not a setback, but a setup? What if the very thing you're battling today is strengthening you for the blessing that's coming tomorrow? A seed must be buried in the dirt before it grows. A diamond must endure extreme pressure before it shines. Gold must go through fire before it's refined. In the same way, your struggles are not pointless. They are preparing you. They are refining your character, strengthening your faith, and positioning you for a greater purpose. You may not see it now, but one day, you'll look back and realize that the struggle was necessary. The rejection pushed you towards something better. The delay taught you patience and wisdom. The hardship built resilience in you that comfort never could. Without the struggle, you wouldn't be ready for the opportunities ahead. So don't despise the process. Don't lose hope when life feels hard. Instead, trust that every challenge, every difficulty, and every moment of struggle is working for your good. Your breakthrough is coming, and when it does, you'll see that everything you went through was not in vain. It was preparing you for something far greater than you ever imagined. Keep going. The pain of today is the strength of tomorrow. Right now, you may be walking through a season of struggle. The weight of disappointment, loss, or uncertainty may feel overwhelming, but I want to remind you, this pain is not wasted. What you're going through is not the end of your story. It's the foundation of your strength. Think about the muscles in your body. When you exercise, you push them to their limits. You feel the burn, the strain, even the soreness the next day. But that discomfort is proof that your body is growing stronger. Without resistance, there is no progress. Without struggle, there is no growth. The same is true in life. The challenges you endure today are shaping you into a person of greater strength, wisdom, and resilience. Pain has a way of teaching us what comfort never could. It deepens our compassion, sharpens our focus, and forces us to discover strengths we never knew we had. Some of the most inspiring people in the world have walked through unimaginable hardship. But instead of letting pain break them, they let it build them. They didn't just survive their struggles, they came out stronger, wiser, and better because of them. You may not understand why you're going through this right now. It may feel unfair, it may not make sense, but trust this. The very thing that feels like it's pulling you down is actually preparing you to rise higher. The tears you shed today will water the seeds of your future victory. The strength you're gaining in this season will carry you into the next. So hold on. Keep pushing forward. Don't let today's pain make you forget the promise of tomorrow. One day you'll look back and realize that what you thought was breaking you was actually making you into the strong, unstoppable person you were always meant to be. Keep the faith. Your strength is being built right now. Life's challenges don't define you. How you respond to them does. We all face difficulties, unexpected losses, disappointments, setbacks that shake our confidence. But those challenges are not the final word on your life. What truly matters is how you choose to respond. You can let difficulties break you, or you can let them build you. You can allow struggles to make you bitter, or you can use them to make you better. The choice is yours. You may not be able to control what happens to you, but you can control how you react. Will you let adversity stop you, or will you rise above it? History is filled with people who turned their struggles into stepping stones. The ones who refused to be defined by their circumstances, who faced hardship with faith, perseverance, and resilience. They didn't let their challenges write their story. They took control of the pen. The same power is within you. Maybe life has thrown obstacles in your way. Maybe you've been through storms that left you feeling lost or discouraged. But don't let those moments define who you are. You are stronger than the challenges you face. You are capable of rising above them. Let them shape you, teach you, and push you toward the greatness inside of you. Your response to life's struggles determines your future. Will you stand tall and keep moving forward? Will you believe that what was meant to harm you will only make you stronger? If you refuse to give up, if you choose to respond with courage and faith, then no challenge will ever be able to define you. Instead, you will define your own destiny, one of strength, perseverance, and victory. You are not buried, you are planted. Grow from your trials. There are moments in life when it feels like everything is working against you. You face setbacks, disappointments, betrayals, and closed doors. You may feel like you're stuck in a dark place, alone, forgotten, and overwhelmed by the weight of your struggles. It's easy to believe that life has buried you, that you've been cast aside with no hope of rising again. But what if I told you that you're not buried, you're planted? When a seed is planted, it is placed deep into the soil, covered in darkness and left alone. To the outside world, it looks like nothing is happening, but beneath the surface, something powerful is taking place. The seed is being activated. Its roots are growing, stretching downward to create a strong foundation before it ever breaks through the surface. It is preparing itself to withstand storms, to reach for the sunlight, and to grow into its full potential. In the same way, the struggles you are facing right now are not meant to keep you down. They are meant to grow you. The disappointments, the delays, the difficulties, they are not signs that you've been abandoned. They are signs that something greater is happening within you. Every challenge is strengthening your character. Every hardship is deepening your wisdom. Every painful moment is stretching your faith. If you focus only on the darkness, you might believe that your story is over. But remember, the seed does not stay underground forever. In time, it breaks through the soil, reaches toward the light, and flourishes into something beautiful. Your life is no different. The trials you face today are setting you up for growth that you can't yet see. Maybe you've lost a job. Maybe a relationship ended. Maybe a dream didn't unfold the way you expected. It might feel like you've been buried under the weight of disappointment. But don't give up. You are being prepared for something bigger, something greater than you can imagine. Your trials are not here to destroy you. They are here to develop you. Growth is not always comfortable. The process of breaking through the soil requires patience, resilience, and faith. But if you keep pushing forward, if you refuse to let your challenges define you, you will rise. You will see the fruits of your perseverance. You will realize that every hardship was not meant to bury you. It was meant to plant you in the right place at the right time for the right purpose. So don't be discouraged by the season you're in. Trust that your struggles are working for your good. Hold on to hope because you are not buried, you are planted. And when the time is right, you will rise stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the blessings ahead. Keep growing. Your breakthrough is coming. Don't let failure break you. Let it build you. Failure is one of the most painful experiences we can go through. It stings. It shakes our confidence. It makes us question whether we're good enough, smart enough, or strong enough to keep going. But let me tell you something. Failure is not the end. It's not a reason to quit. In fact, failure is one of the greatest teachers you will ever have. It is not meant to break you. It is meant to build you. Every great success story includes moments of failure. Some of the most influential people in history failed over and over again before they reached their breakthrough. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, failed thousands of times before he found success. When asked about it, he didn't say, I failed thousands of times. He said, I found thousands of ways that didn't work. The only people who never fail are the people who never try and never screw up. But if you have faced failure, it means you have been bold enough to try. And that alone is something to be proud of. It's easy to let failure discourage you. It's easy to think, maybe I'm just not meant to do this. Maybe I should stop trying. But what if failure isn't a stop sign? What if it's a stepping stone? What if every mistake, every disappointment, and every setback is actually pushing you closer to your breakthrough? The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is how they respond to failure. Do you let it crush you, or do you let it sharpen you? Think of failure like resistance in a workout. When you lift weights, you are literally tearing your muscles. In that moment, it feels painful, uncomfortable, and even exhausting. But what happens next? Your muscles repair themselves and grow stronger. Without that resistance, your body wouldn't build endurance. Without struggle, you wouldn't gain strength. The same applies to life. Every failure is an opportunity to stretch, to strengthen, and to prepare for greater things ahead. Maybe you failed in your career, in a relationship, in a business, or in a personal goal. Maybe you've tried something multiple times and it still hasn't worked out. That's okay. The greatest lessons often come from the hardest falls. Instead of seeing failure as a setback, see it as a setup. Instead of letting it defeat you, let it develop you. Learn from it, adjust your approach, and keep moving forward. Failure is temporary, but the strength, wisdom, and resilience you gain from it will last forever. Every time you fall, you have a choice. Will you stay down, or will you rise again? If you refuse to quit, if you refuse to let failure define you, then nothing can stop you. Your failures are not the end of your story. They are just chapters leading up to your greatest comeback. So don't let failure break you. Let it build you. Let it shape you into the person you were meant to become. Keep going, because your best days are still ahead. Your best days are still ahead. No matter where you are in life right now, no matter what challenges you faced, I want you to know this: your best days are still ahead. It doesn't matter what your past looks like. It doesn't matter how many times you've fallen, how many mistakes you've made, or how long you've been struggling. Your story is not over. The road ahead is filled with new opportunities, new blessings, and new victories. But you have to believe it. Too often people get stuck looking back. They replay past failures, past disappointments, and past regrets, like a movie that never stops. They convince themselves that their best moments are behind them, that they missed their chance, that things will never change. But let me tell you something. As long as you have breath in your lungs, you have purpose in your life, you have more to accomplish, more to experience, and more to become. What's coming next is greater than anything you've left behind. Maybe life has knocked you down. Maybe you've been through heartbreak, loss, or unexpected setbacks. But just because you've had a tough past doesn't mean you're destined for a tough future. In fact, the very struggles you've been through are preparing you for what's ahead. The pain you've endured is making you stronger. The lessons you've learned are shaping you for something greater. What feels like an ending is actually a new beginning in disguise. Think about a caterpillar. When it enters the cocoon, it looks like the end. It's completely still, wrapped in darkness, hidden from the world. But inside, something miraculous is happening. Transformation is taking place. And when the time is right, that caterpillar emerges as a butterfly, stronger, freer, more beautiful than ever before. That's exactly what happens in life. Sometimes you go through a season where it feels like nothing is working, where everything seems dark and uncertain. But in those moments, you are not stuck. You are being prepared for a breakthrough. You may have dreams that seem delayed. You may have been waiting for a long time for something to change, but just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't happen. Some of the greatest victories in life take time. Some of the biggest blessings require patience. But when you refuse to give up, when you keep believing, keep hoping, and keep pressing forward, you will step into the future that was meant for you. Your past does not define you. Your mistakes do not define you. The people who walked away, the opportunities that didn't work out, the struggles you faced, they are not the final chapter of your story. What's ahead is greater. What's ahead is filled with more joy, more peace, more success, and more fulfillment than you can imagine. But you have to lift your eyes from the past and look toward the future with expectation. No matter what you've been through, no matter what today looks like, keep moving forward. Keep dreaming, keep believing. Your best days are not behind you. They are still ahead. Stay strong, stay hopeful, and get ready for the amazing things that are coming your way. So keep moving forward, keep believing, keep trusting that your story is still being written. You may have faced setbacks, but they are not your final destination. You may have experienced loss, but greater things are still ahead. What's behind you has prepared you for what's coming next. And if you refuse to give up, you will step into a future brighter than you ever imagined. Don't settle in disappointment. Don't let fear hold you back. Walk with confidence, knowing that every challenge, every delay, and every hardship has been working behind the scenes to shape you for something greater. Your best days are not in the past, they are ahead of you. So lift your head, straighten your shoulders, and step boldly into your future. The best is yet to come.